It wasn't that long ago that I got up today. It's currently 10:42 p.m. and I recall at last getting up around 10:30 p.m. after going to bed around 5 p.m. I took a midnight nap. By that I don't mean 12 a.m. I mean in the middle of the night. That lasted from about 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. While listening to Everywhere at the End of Time, I spent the better part of a day pretty much nonstop working on a third leprechaun styrofoam drawing. I based it off the last styrofoam drawing I did. This one for Uncle John. But this new leprechaun would be on a different shaped styrofoam piece. One that was wider. But thinner would be my best attempt at explaining. And I made some twist to it so I wouldn't be doing the same thing over and over again. Since I don't want to be doing that. Instead of medium green, I used the lime green Sharpie marker that is very close to a yellow Sharpie marker. In order to be sure, I asked Dad to verify it for me, essentially. Though I think I could just sense that one of two seemingly yellow Sharpie markers, one of them looked a bit different. Not only did I make the leprechaun suit lime green, but I also made an even plaid design with dark green lines. Except the plaid parallel and perpendicular lines were spread out, so for the most part you can still see plenty of lime green. While working on the leprechaun, I primarily listen to Everywhere at the End of Time in the form of a playlist someone else made of every track individually. I got as far as the first track of stage 5 before I finished it. I recall working from as early as 6 in the morning until about 2:45 p.m. And stage 5, within the official Everywhere at the End of Time video, which to this day has about 21.7 million views. In my mind, I consider it a musical masterpiece. And a very creative fair use of music from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. But I don't listen to the official video because while I was in college, I discovered that one of the tracks were essentially not included due to YouTube's copyright bot still detecting it. YouTube's audio library detected it. I'm pretty sure the tracks from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, they're old enough to be in the public domain. At least, that's how I feel. Yeah, I think this hand might be a tiny bit calloused from all the work I did. I worked pretty much non-stop. Besides those little breaks, trying not to use the same Sharpie marker for too long. So as not to dry it out. Stage 5 of Everywhere at the End of Time starts at roughly the 3.5 hour mark. If you combine that with the fact that while I primarily listen to Everywhere at the End of Time, there were brief periods where I listened to other videos on YouTube. And working during phone calls with my dad and my mom, I would put the time of work, total nonstop work, it took to finish the Leprechaun at 4 hours. I took a break at noon in order to eat one container of Bob Evans mac and cheese for lunch. Along with one of the bottles of Wegmans branded kombucha Dad got the other day. Before this and after this, I sipped from the same cup that I used to have the coffee from about roughly 6 in the morning to roughly 9:30 in the morning, taking that much time to finish the entire pot. And before that, I had, at about 6 in the morning, a cup of water, partially filled. I recall it was a paper cup with olive oil mixed in. And then in this cup was water with some zinc mixed in. It's now water with magnesium mixed in. I feel that everywhere at the end of time, at least for me, is a good music piece to sort of get into a zone of just creating for me. I allowed little to distract myself. While working on the leprechaun. As going forward, I want listening to Everywhere at the End of Time to be associated with me working on styrofoam drawings. Yeah, that just means for now I'll only listen to Everywhere at the End of Time if I'm working on styrofoam drawings. It's a great musical masterpiece that helps bring awareness to dementia, with an emphasis on Alzheimer's disease, since I recall that being the most common way of getting dementia. I recall at some point today I activated this research technology. I thought I would have to move this workshop out of this general area in order to upgrade this armory to the new tier I've research activated not too long ago. But as it turns out, I found by just deleting one piece of pathway, one square, which is this size, I could have room to place this workshop here. I think prior to that, it was around here, this general area. Anyway, when I was finished with the leprechaun styrofoam drawing, I did as I usually do. I engraved it to roughly the nearest minute. The engraving being the time I finished the styrofoam drawing down to the nearest minute. I recall I made a compromise with myself between including and not including the engraving itself as having finished the engraving itself as a part of the styrofoam drawing. If I recall, I wrote the exact time of finish as 2:43 p.m. when I finished the styrofoam drawing at 2:42 p.m. and the engraving at 2:44 p.m. I sent the picture of the styrofoam drawing I took, the front of it, to both Mom and Dad, who both said it looked good. And like I try to do with every styrofoam drawing, I added this third leprechaun drawing to my drive so I could download it onto my laptop and then copy it into my folder entitled Styrofoams with nearly all of my styrofoam drawings in one place. This third leprechaun drawing is number 545.